This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Al, Erica, and Tori, and we're going to do things a little different today, okay, guys? Yes, we are. We're going to look back at some of our most memorable moments on the show. Remember our discussion about whether actors need to atone for the characters they play? Like when Jason Momoa was asked how he felt about his Game of Thrones character sexually assaulting his wife on the show. Jeff thought the reporter was out of line. Watch.
This is ridiculous.
I agree.
That writer from the New York Times is a hack. He's only writing, yeah, I'll say it again. He's a hack. The only question he was looking to ask was this one because he knows it's going to get clicks. How dare you ask an actor pretending to be someone else how they felt about what they were doing in the scene, about their job? How do you feel about your job, loser, when you ask these kind of questions? Yeah, I'm sick of people and writers and people just putting up this clickbait story and thinking it's okay and they get no blood on their hands.
You feel like they're trapping
Of course that was icky. And Jason Momoa's a great dude and worked his way up the ranks, and then you corner him with this icky question, and it's like there's people ask Zac Efron, hey, you played Ted Bundy. How does it feel being a serial killer in real life?
He should have just changed the Ted Bundy narrative where he just ended up working at a food co-op. Like, actors don't have that option.
I'm sick of these clickbait stories that are getting paid a lot of money because people are clicking on them.
I think the scarier thing, Jeff, is the idea that we are still, and we're seeing this now with people not wanting to talk about, teaching about civil rights and things in school, because history is icky. History is very bloody. It's full of rape and pillaging. He's like Genghis Khan.
That's what he said.
And so what do you think? What do you think they did when they showed up to a village, bruh?
Good point, Al.
I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. And the fact that somebody would ask that question, we were saying while that clip was playing, full disclosure, that Jeff had such a good point that question isn't meant to be like, should we go back and rewrite how Tilda Hunt's portrayed it? It's just to put Jason Momoa in a weird position. Hopefully, for the writer's sake, he'll say something that might possibly get clicks and end his career. And it's just like, this is yellow journalism, and it's really why people are distrustful of the media for questions like that. What was Jason Momoa supposed to do in that situation?
Good for him for being transparent and having the courage to just kind of say, this makes me feel icky.
Yeah.
Good for him. Hopefully more people that are being interviewed can have that type of control of their narrative.
Agreed.
It's you, Tori.
Okay, this next story.
She even pointed to you.
I thought I would say, I hope there's Momoa people do that. Like
instead of that terrible joke, you said nothing.
Here we go. This next story quickly went from discussing why we all wanted to believe the tabloid rumor that Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer were dating, to Al and Sam debating about fan fiction. Take a look at this.
But why is it that so many people love to read these tabloid headlines and a lot of us actually believe them? Why do you think, Al?
Because everybody wants to go back to, it sounds depressing, but when we all had hope, when we were young. When you're young.
When we were sipping on a Zima.
When you're sipping on a Zima, sitting on your boy's the trunk of his car, talking about what you're going to do with your life, where you're going to move to, where you're going to go. There, you can't get that. Even when you make it, you still want to go back to that period, and especially whoever you dated, you romanticize that relationship. That's what I think.
That's why, are we surprised? That's why fan fiction is such a thing. I don't know if you guys have ever dabbled into fan fiction, but so fan fiction, because Erica's looking at me like, what is that? So fan fiction, if you're a fan of Twilight, if you're stop it. If you're a fan of Twilight, for example, you can go on sites and read fan fiction where fans will actually create an alternate universe where like Jacob and Bella were together instead of Edward and Bella, or Harry from Harry Potter and Hermione. Yeah, exactly. I'm into it. I read fan fiction, or at least I used to. I can't. Stop it right now. You know you would read fan fiction if like LeBron James and Janet Jackson were a thing.
LeBron James and Janet Jackson?
Yeah, but fan fiction, it doesn't matter. Harry Potter was never with Hermione.
Yeah, but fiction means they're not real.
No, fan fiction means a fan is creating fiction. A fan is creating fiction.
You can't do that with like someone who's married.
Yes, you can.
No.
What if someone made a fan fiction with you and Al?
Over here. After we talked about fan fiction and Al pretended to be not interested and sleeping, he turned, as soon as we went, the cameras were off, he turned over and goes, so I won a contest for writing fan fiction.
I didn't know that that's what it was.
Right.
I swear. Yeah, I didn't know.
Okay.
But it was good. I would never do it again, but it was
And
was
you
good.
won?
I won.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably juicy.
It was. Let us never speak of it again.
Okay. You entered a fan fiction
I
contest.
did not thought it was a stand-up show. It was put on by stand-ups, and they did a special monthly fan fiction. So I wrote something.
Can you
real
at
quick.
least tell us a little bit about who are you writing about? Can you tell us that?
The movie Hidden Figures?
Yep.
Oh no!
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And it was.
It was about
juicy.
space.
The story will remain hidden. I think is best.
What's that face for, Erica? I just said hidden.
figure?
I wanted to highlight black women in my fan
that
fiction.
way?
How do you know which way I highlighted them? They were just
What, you
highlighted.
seem guilty AF. That's
Well, listen, that's just how I look.
You know what? Some things need to remain unspoken,
Unfictionalized.
But do you keep secrets from your spouse? Well, we all had something to say about it. I am not guilty. But after a poll came out with the top 5 secrets people keep from their partners, take a look.
The top 5 secrets people keep. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Mental health issues, embarrassing incidents, their internet history, eating and snacking habits, and their hygiene habits. The mental health issues really makes me sad because, you know, when I suffered from postpartum depression, like all I wanted to do was scream it from the rooftops. But when you're so depressed, you don't care to, so you almost need somebody to pull you out from that
Absolutely.
like really dark despair of a hole. So I hate that stigma, and I hope that we can do better.
Yeah, but first of all, your internet history, I don't want to know that.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
wanna
I'm not telling anybody my internet. That's what Google Chrome was for.
But the hygiene one is gross. Like, what are you going to tell me that is going to disturb me
I
so
think
much
you'd
it
be
needs to be a
surprised.
secret?
I saw a stat, Lindsay, that it said like, I think 40% of American people don't wash their
legs. In the shower. I saw the same thing, Alan. I thought, my goodness, are you stopping mid-torso?
Well, for me, it's a little tough now.
It's very tough.
Yeah, I'm like literally like trying my best.
Not
So
gonna- yeah, you gotta wait till that baby comes out.
So you guys saying put everything on the table? Because I don't know if that's.
No,
I kind of don't want to know everything.
I don't want to know your internet history,
Boundaries.
search history. I don't want
You
Boundaries.
don't? If you're going to attach your life to somebody?
No, let Mark tell me, I hope.
Wait,
like,
is this only
is
for
what I
couples
like.
or friends too, keeping secrets from each other, right?
Really partners, they said, or people that you were, wasn't it a
Yeah, your
partnership
partner.
thing? Yeah.
You want to know what Colin's searching on the internet?
I would love to know.
You want to know what Brooks is searching on the internet?
No, I'd love to know what Colin's searching on.
So, Erica, you weren't in that conversation.
No, I was not.
Do you like to keep things kind of mysterious, or do you want to know everything in your relationship?
I would argue that most of us know the majority of what our partners are searching for on the internet, and I'll tell you why, because I know y'all want to know. And my Instagram comes up with ads for things that Anthony has searched.
For sure. It's connected.
Yeah, so
sure.
I mean, I'm like, oh, so I guess we need this tactical gear because we're going to war. I don't know.
So you're saying if a viewer goes divorce lawyers, like that's not a good sign.
Right. That's so funny.
All right. Well, we all remember the
What a terrible
I thought that was a good transition. I was like, all right.
horrible.
Well, what do you guys want me to do?
Not that.
Like a smoke bomb, like the Miami Hurricanes, and then start talking? I'm going to go now.
Okay.
All right. We all remember the conversation we had about tipping. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand it when I'm asked to tip the 20% minimum.
Why?
At a coffee shop.
Why?
Because I don't know if that's.
Do you know how long it takes to make a latte?
Okay, who's with
Minimum
me?
wage
You
is-
guys take a look and then we'll discuss after.
Way too low.
Do you tip when you pick up? When you pick
I
your
do
food
tip
up?
when I pick up, yes.
He doesn't.
No, I do now because of the pandemic. I feel bad for people, so I do tip extra and I do give them money. When we go back to normal, however, you will not be getting a tip if I'm picking up a pizza and you didn't do anything but hand me my credit card statement. You want 20% for handing me a
Not
box?
20, but like
You know
5?
what Jeff hates?
No.
You know what Jeff hates? Jeff hates this move. Here you go, man.
No, this is it. When I'm standing there, and this is what goes through my head. When you flip that over and it says 20, and there's a 50% button. I want to smash that thing in half and pay for your whole system
It
rather
is
than
the
give you.
most passive-aggressive thing that's been introduced into the consumer because they turn it
way.
around. Yes,
Oh,
they turn
come
it around, and
on.
you have to turn. What are you going to turn around zero and put it in their face?
Albert, listen. How many times did all of us? Now, first, yes, if you're just handing over a receipt, that's different.
But
And
they expect it. They're like,
That's not true. 90% of the time that somebody just hands hands me receipt, they exit out the tipping box. They exit it out.
That's
for
never
you.
happened to me.
They
Never seen that.
exit it
No,
out. Now,
they
how
do
many times have
and it starts at 20. It starts at the only button is 20.
I know,
so like
and it says 50
you're getting
is a button.
20 right off the rip, and I'm not going to give you 0 because you have to personally type in 0.
It's so weird. What do you have that?
That owl suit in that video looked like he got rickrolled. That's it.
I like the suit. I thought Erica was laughing at my great comedy.
No, it wasn't.
Erica, I want to get everybody's opinion. We all know we are tippers up here. We've all worked in the industry, so we are tippers. But at a coffee shop where I go to at least once or twice a day, the 20%.
But you're not taking into account the amount that it's offering. So I worked at Salt and Straw, great ice cream store. But anytime you got a scoop, it wasn't like 10, 15 bucks. It was like $6, $5, $4. So 20%.
Why don't you say those numbers in that order?
Sorry, but 20% is like
80 cents.
It's nothing.
But it's supposed to add up per customer. I'm not going to take care of your whole hour of employment.
But it's minimum wage for what we're. At some point, you have to understand we're not getting the correct amount of wage.
You're going there twice a day. I hope you build up a repertoire with them. So for me, the places I go to all the time, my nails, my coffee shop, I make sure I tip very, very
tip heavy, but like
handsomely.
It's a lot. Yeah. You were out of words after the second very.
It's
like a book report.
I am
very,
stuck.
very much.
Coming up, okay, don't even get me started on your suit. Okay? Coming up on DBL, we look back on some more stories that got us talking, like the time we all peeked inside our online shopping carts. What was in Al's, and why did he have such an issue with mine? And a woman proves you're never too old to start a new hobby. We'll introduce you to this skateboarding queen who is showing the kids how it's done.
Are youth football players more at risk for developing CTE? Let's verify. Our sources are an expert with the Shepherd Center, a neurologist with Morehouse School of Medicine, the CDC, and the Journal of the American Medical Association. Here's what we know. First, what is CTE? Dr. Michael Yokelson with the Shepherd Center says it's a brain disease caused by concussions. Symptoms develop over time and can be pretty serious.
They may start to have problems with cognition, so developing dementia. They can develop Parkinsonism, so movement disorders, tremors. They can develop more serious psychological or psychiatric issues.
He says any contact sport increases your child's chance of concussions and CTE. The key here is their brains are still developing.
If children begin to have concussions at an earlier age, it may have a greater, more lasting impact.
He says the younger they start, the more concussions they could have over time. A new report from the CDC finds kids in tackle football are 15 times more likely to suffer head injuries. And data from JAMA says 21% of high school football players had CTE. The tricky thing is it's hard to know if your child has it.
That's why at this time, still the most reliable way to make the actual diagnosis is on autopsy.
Dr. Royal says you can reduce your child's risk by making sure they wear protective gear and getting proper treatment for any head injury. So we can verify younger kids in contact sports are at a higher risk for developing CTE. That claim is true.
Welcome back to DBL. Skateboarding is a sport that's put some of its greatest competitors in the hospital, but that did not stop a 46-year-old mom of two from taking it up and hitting the skate park. Here's a look back on her strong woman story.
It's a world Orby Roy knows little about.
When I met my husband and he told me he was a skateboarder, I still had no understanding that an adult grown man was skateboarding.
Her interest in the sport grows as she spends more time at the skate park.
So I would sit and watch him skateboard with his friends. I felt a little bit of envy. It was something that I felt would have been a really cool sport for me, and I regretted that I hadn't started.
Blaming her age, she sidelines herself.
When I was in my 30s, I honestly just felt it was way too late to be a grown woman getting on a skateboard.
But then, as her kids get older, it becomes a family affair.
I'm not going to be the mom that stands there at the edge watching my whole family have fun. And it was for that reason entirely that I said, oh, no, I'm getting on this board and I'm going to crush it.
At age 43, she throws her hesitations to the wind and officially drops in.
And I really had no idea what I was doing. And I dropped in from a 2-foot ramp and I immediately fell on my bum. And I was so happy. I was addicted right away. I felt alive. It was so liberating. I really was like, this is amazing.
She spends 3 years honing her skills. Then in January of this year, with hopes of sharing her joy with others, she takes on a new name and persona, Auntie Skates.
Hello everybody, it's Auntie. I'm out in the cold weather in Canada to do a rock to fakie.
I took an accent I had created from improv, and it was the accent I was kind of using to yell at my kids with. It's a family accent that I created based on my cousins and my mother, and it's a really fun, loving accent.
Her following grows overnight.
It was a very impulsive thing for me to do, but it goes back to the whole thing about me bringing all the things that I love into this character and feeling connected to this thing that I'm doing.
Skateboarding has even upped her parenting game.
If I fall, they see me get back up. They have no idea what it means to give up because they always see me get back up. The fact that they see me talk the talk and walk the walk is really important.
Auntie Skates plans to shred well into her 70s.
I'm really taking the slams, putting in the work, doing as much as I can to get myself to a certain level. So that when I get into my 50s and 60s, I'm not going to take as many slams. And I'll be able to just skate casually, and I'm going to do that for as long as I possibly can.
She hopes her message of fearlessness is one that others will follow.
You be kind to yourself and allow yourself to have fun. Do the thing that you've always wanted to do. Be that person that you always wanted to be. If I can be in a bowl in my 40s, skating in a sari, I promise you, you can do anything. And I've got your back. Doesn't matter how old or how young you are.
If you want to watch more Auntie Skates videos, be sure to follow her on TikTok or Instagram like an ollie, right? That's a move. We'll be right back.
Pandemic unemployment benefits are coming to an end, but will that lead to more people in the workforce? Let's connect the dots. The extra $300 on weekly unemployment checks ends this Saturday. Many companies are still struggling to hire new employees. Officials hope slashing those benefits will push more people back into the workforce, but so far that hasn't been the case. 26 states, including South Carolina, have already ended unemployment benefits. While they did see a slight uptick in new hires, researchers from Harvard and Columbia say it was not the boom they were expecting. In fact, 7 out of 8 people who lost their benefits did not find work, and slashing those benefits early may have hurt local economies. Without that extra boost, unemployed workers simply spent less money. Experts are still trying to figure out why people aren't getting back to work, but they say the $300 checks are a very small part of the big picture. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. So a recent poll said that nearly 60% of people say they leave items in their online shopping cart without purchasing them. So we took a peek inside our own carts to find out what we were leaving behind. Take a look. Or Al, let's start with you. Do you even know how many items are in your shopping cart?
Yeah, well, there was one, and I know what it was.
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted me to lead you. It was I wanted to get a mirror with the light bulb so I can do my makeup at home.
That's cute.
Yeah, so that, yeah.
Okay, so just one little item. Okay.
That's cute.
So my kids, so Lawson and Lane are starting to like sleep together, right? So he's got a space on the other side of the room. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna put a little tent in there. Yeah. Our other light thing broke, and I love those things.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm gonna get them all, but I put it in my cart just to remind myself, like, these are my top choices so far.
It's a bird feeder with a solar pump. If you don't know, this will make a fountain out of it.
And a bird bath.
Yeah.
Cute.
Oh, I meant a bird bath, not a bird feeder. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a bird bath.
Bird bath, and you have a solar pump that makes a fountain. You don't need to plug it in.
My cart, I sent it into our producers. I usually have quite a few items in my cart. I'm not sure what's in my cart.
Okay.
Oh, costumes.
Okay,
for
so
Sophie.
swimmies,
Are you sure they're for
action
Sophie?
figure. Cool. Oh, and some moisturizer. That's a fantastic moisturizer, by the way.
I like how the kid stuff was all $9 and your moisturizer was $50. How about we get a little balance there, buddy?
Excuse me?
How about you step up on the action figure that was tiny? Get the more expensive one.
No.
Balance
what are you talking about?
You're spending more on your face than you are on your kids.
That's absolutely not true.
We just saw
That
it.
is
I can do the math.
absolutely not true.
$9.99. That's all they're getting this Christmas.
On a mirror with lights, and there's nothing in your cart for your kids.
It's for my job.
And there's nothing in your cart for your kids.
Yeah, look, what's that? I pulled it up. Pants for my boy. Oh, look
you
at
just
that.
added that. Good.
During the stop it.
You know what I wonder? I'm sorry to take this kind of seriousville, but I wonder if you put the thing in the shopping cart, if the same amount of dopamine hits you as if you've bought it. So it doesn't really matter.
I believe it does.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that saves you money.
Yeah, I'm very guilty.
You get
of
me?
this.
Because I can X out and feel like I did something if I chose at least.
You know what? For me, it organizes my brain. Like it's out. What is that phrase? Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, like to know that Sophie needs swimmies, this person needs that, I need this. I'd like take it out of my brain, put it over here, and then I can like wash my hands of it and deal with it later.
Lots of mind.
Well, for necessities, I totally get that because I'll look at the cart and there'll be 3 more things because my husband will add something. But when it comes to like shopping for clothes, I just put everything in the cart.
Right.
And then I look at the total, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a lot. I'll come back later and
But
decide
some
if I really
places now
want
they have a countdown, like you have to buy it
Oh,
like
yeah,
within
they'll
like
take it
30
out of your
minutes.
cart.
Yeah. They're on to us.
Yep. Coming up on DBL, we dive into the DBL mailbag. And answer your more pressing questions about us. That's next. Stick around.
Are at-home COVID tests a reliable way to determine whether you've been infected? Let's verify. Our sources, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson, and information from 3 common at-home tests found in stores. Abbott Bionex Now, Illum COVID-19 home test, and Cadell QuickView. All 3 at-home tests have received emergency use authorization from the FDA, meaning they are not fully approved yet, and all are nasal swabs with test results in about 10 to 15 minutes. Clinical studies for Abbott Bionex now shows the test is about 84% accurate at detecting positive cases and 98% accurate at detecting negative cases. Meanwhile, clinical studies for Illume COVID-19 home test showed 96% accuracy for those who had symptoms and 91% accuracy for people who did not have symptoms. Finally, Quidel QuickView totes an 83% accuracy for detecting positive cases and 99% accuracy detecting negative cases, according to a clinical study.
Type of patient to use this test would be someone who's symptomatic. Those who are asymptomatic and just may have been exposed, there may be a lot more variability there.
Dr. Carla Robinson says these tests are fairly accurate. However, the most reliable test is a PCR test administered by a medical professional where the swabs are sent to a lab for analysis.
PCR is the gold standard type of test that we have for COVID-19, which is the most reliable and the one that's used most often in the hospital or clinic setting.
Either way, Dr. Robinson says it's important once you get results from any of these tests to speak with a healthcare provider for the next steps. So we can verify that, yes, at-home tests have a high degree of accuracy, but they're not perfect. And Dr. Robinson stresses that the result itself isn't the end game. People should always speak with a healthcare provider after getting their results back.
These at-home tests range from $20 to about $40. Dr. Robinson says the best way to get answers you can count on is to go to your doctor. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Wow. Okay, welcome back to DBL. We're going to dip into the DBL mailbag to see what our viewers, Goodwin Tori, wants to know about us. So this one's for you. Jessica asks,
oh, God.
Star Wars or Star Trek, and why?
100,000% Star Trek. I actually am a Trekkie, I will be honest. My mom has been sick for a really long time, watches Star Trek her whole life when she's in bed. Gene Roddenberry created a group of people who were scientists with no race, didn't care what race was. We had interracial kisses for the first time on TV. It was an idea of exploratory ideas. And so I think Star Trek is a beautiful vision of what the future could be.
Great, good answer. Al, Jeremy wants to know, what's the most underrated city that you've performed in?
Louisville. I love it.
Really?
I love it. It's such a cool little funky, like it's got a hippie vibe, a lot of bluegrass down there. Lots of great barbecue. Love Louisville.
Ooh, all right. If you guys are leaving us, thank you for watching. DBL's new every day, but if you're sticking around, there's more DBL after the break.